Welcome to the Tech Guys Who Invest podcast, where each week you will learn how to invest wisely and safely. On this show, you'll hear about lessons Adam and Kevin are learning on their investor journey, as well as insights from industry experts. Our vision is to educate, entertain, and bring tons of value to you. Welcome to our show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Tech Guys Who Invest podcast. This week, we have a little different format. You'll notice that I'm solo. Kevin's not with me this week. We're trying something a little different out this week while Kevin's traveling. He's actually in Seattle right now, and I hope he's having a good time. This week, I want to talk to you about the topic of balance. I was watching The Karate Kid with my family this weekend, and Mr. Miyagi had a quote about balance. And he said, lesson not just karate only, lesson for whole life. Whole life have a balance, everything be better. And I thought to myself, that's a great topic for this episode because that applies not just to karate, not just to life, but it also applies to investing. In lean business, there's this concept of removing waste from our systems to increase the value delivery of a system. There are multiple forms of waste, and one of the most pivotal is called mura, which is a Japanese term that means unevenness. Mura is also the reason for the existence of other wastes in the system. So in systems such as manufacturing, when the capacity of one station is greater than the other stations, you'll see an accumulation of waste in the form of overproduction or waiting, et cetera. Now, the goal of a lean production system is to level out that workload so there's no unevenness or waste accumulation. If you focus on one area of your life too much, the others suffer. Just like that manufacturing system. For example, people who work too much, they often have family problems or they have other problems. This applies to life, but it also applies to investing. So if you focus all of your time on investing, but not on the other parts of your life, you kind of get out of balance there. It's healthy to take time away, to enjoy life, to do other things, to enjoy the people in your life, and to experience new things. Now, as I mentioned, Kevin's in Seattle right now. And I think he's doing just that. I think it's great for him. He's taking a break. I recently spent time with my family and the Dreamstone founders and their families in the Blue Ridge Mountains. We took a weekend, hung out together, spent time together away from work. And this was a fantastic time. It allowed for a much needed break from work. With the time one spends focused on investing, people can be in balance or out of balance. Most often, I see people fall out of balance when they start investing with a goal of financial freedom, which would allow for more balance. But a lot of work is required and a lot of time. So you start working really hard, trying to make things happen, saying it so you'll get financial freedom, so you'll have more balance in life. And then before you know it, it becomes a mode that's easy to stay in and hard to break out of. And sometimes you don't even realize you're in it. And you just find yourself working all the time. One day you wake up and you kind of realize that you've taken on more and more work to build wealth and to get to where you want to be. And that place always seems further away. You always want to build a little more, a little more. And the next thing you know, you're working way more than you were before you started all of this. And you don't have that financial freedom that you had envisioned. You start to burn out. And quite honestly, I've experienced this, and it's not a fun place to be. Now, the same thing could apply to starting up a business. Many of the most successful people on the planet have sacrificed marriages, other close personal relationships, and other important things to get that business to be so successful. So you just have to ask yourself is it worth it? And make sure that your goals are relevant to you and that your behavior aligns to that. So to get back in balance, if you wake up, find yourself in this place, to get back in balance, it's good to kind of step back and reevaluate your goals and determine how aligned your behaviors are to them, and then make adjustments. By the way, this requires some self-awareness to even realize you're in that place. So a periodic time for self-reflection or retrospection is a really good idea. It helps you catch things like this before they become a problem, before you get burnt out. And before Kevin left Tampa, he and I met and we were discussing this. And we both talked about bringing more balance into our lives and using investing to achieve those goals that we set out for. Now, that may mean being a bit more passive, or it may just mean slowing down a little bit, being patient, focusing on the long game. Building wealth just doesn't happen overnight in most cases, and burning yourself out to achieve it faster brings imbalance to your life, and it just isn't worth it. So if I can leave you with one takeaway, it's to evaluate all of your life areas and ask yourself whether you have balance. And as Mr. Miyagi said, lesson not just karate only, lesson for whole life. Whole life have a balance, everything be better. If you want to reach out to the Tech Guys Who Invest, we'd love to hear from you. Did you like this episode? Did you not? Did you like the solo format? Would you like to see more of it? Do you have feedback for us to make our shows better? Send us an email at techguyswhoinvest@gmail.com or find us on tgwipodcast.com, where you can find free content and more. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast for the latest episode updates and to receive investor insights to help you invest wisely and safely. You can join the TGWI Insiders community at tgwipodcast.com/subscribe. Don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. The feedback helps us grow and helps us give you the best investing content out there. For a step-by-step guide on how to leave a review, head over to tgwipodcast.com/review. And lastly, we'd love to connect with you. The best way to reach us is by sending us an email at techguyswhoinvest@gmail.com.